Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Speaking of Animals. I'm Amy Carotenuto from Flagler Humane Society with our special guest today, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, Kate MacFall, who is the Florida Senior State Director of Humane World for Animals, there's been a recent name change. Kate, I'll let you, that's used to be Humane Society of the United States. So you want to expand on that
Yes.
just a bit?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, Amy. And yes, and in writing, sometimes we'll say Humane World for Animals and then put below it, formerly called the Humane Society of the United States, because HSUS is so well known and has been for so long.
For sure.
It's tricky. I had somebody ask me today if I changed, I went to a different charity, and I said, no, I'm here, the same one. We just changed our name. So, and our leadership at HSUS wanted to branch out and do the name change to highlight the work that we're doing internationally, which does make sense.
For sure.
Growing things, it's hard to change your name. But we are doing a lot internationally. I think that's pretty exciting.
It is.
So we want to reflect that. And for our local humane societies like you, we think there'll be less confusion, and hope that's pleasing to some of our local shelter partners.
Yes, for sure, because when people donate, sometimes they donate to the national organization, but they think they're donating locally, and so,
and vice versa. All the time.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Well, congratulations on the name change if you're happy about that.
I roll with it.
Yeah, for sure. And I have to introduce our second guest today is the lovely Marshmallow. Marshmallow is a beautiful, longer-haired white hamster that's with us today. We were going to be talking today about bears, so the closest I could come is we're going to call her a teddy bear hamster. So I don't even think she really is a teddy bear hamster, but that's just the closest I could come to a bear as a guest. Mark, our producer here, I don't think would appreciate if I brought a black bear into the studio, although I think it would be kind of cool. So, like I said, we wanted to talk today about the proposed bear hunt, which is not good news, but it's a proposed bear hunt, much like the bear hunt that was held in Florida in 2015, in which 300 bears were killed in the first 48 hours. So then I think after that they cut it off. So this is not something that we're very happy about. This is the decision that's being made by the Florida Wildlife Commission, FWC, which in Florida has a lot of authority. And part of what you said yesterday, Kate, I thought was, I wish I could remember your quote. It was beautiful. It was like, with the prestige comes the responsibility. Or do you remember what you said? Because it was just...
I do. Yes, that they have constitutional authority, and they are the largest and the most prestigious wildlife commission in the whole nation. But with that prestige comes the responsibility to be humane-minded.
Yes.
That was forward-thinking, I think.
It was a beautiful quote. It was good. So
thank you.
So yes, so FWC in Florida does have a lot of power. So they have the authority to determine whether or not Florida black bears are hunted because of. I think it really boils down to Florida's human population has. Just really blown up. It's like since I've been paying attention, which is probably only about 10 years, I think we had 20 million residents in Florida when I started paying attention, and we're at 23 million. And I know I haven't been paying attention that long. So that's the numbers of humans moving into Florida.
There's got to be a breaking point. It's staggering. And there's got to be some awareness, and just awareness and being mindful of the human population. This is a beautiful and special state. I doubt it could stay this way, honestly, with all the development. And, there's talk, the whole models of building up and not out, all these different things. But the human population, I'm so glad you said that, is exactly true. But the biggest part of that is the confusion that people, like the sheriff yesterday, talking about should we have bear hunt or not, and all these conflicts with people come from attractants like trash. That is absolutely, you can have very, very, very low bear population, have a neighborhood and people leave their trash out, the bears are going to go there because they're smart and they can smell up to a mile away. You have a woods that are chock full of bears and a neighborhood that has bear-wise cans where there's nothing accessible. The bears are going to go there, again, because they're smart and they know they can't get to it. So it's the attractants draw the bears into the neighborhoods or residential area or whatever, which is not good for either party.
Right.
And that's why bear-wise communities with the, bear-proof cans and dumpsters are absolutely imperative. They're even more important now than they were 10 years ago when we all talked about this. Because of the human population, so much development, there's got to be bear-wise communities so that we don't have conflicts. But then hunting bears is a separate issue, and they've even said that themselves, although they say, well, it's a little bit about population management. The population's fine. They don't need managed. They're not overpopulated at all. But I think it boils down to the hunters, some hunters. A lot of ethical hunters don't wish to trophy hunt, but there's a whole bunch that do. But they want to. And could the population sustain it? And not because they should or it's needed or all this, simply because they want to. And there's one commissioner specifically, Commissioner Lester, who seems very focused on this. And so they're looking at another bear hunt that would be next December 2025. And there's so many elements of that. I don't know if you want me to go into that now, so many of what they proposed. So just to recap, yesterday the first step is to pass what the proposal, and then it has to be voted on again. And that's the next meeting is in August, and it's in Tallahassee. We really need people to come to Tallahassee. It's on August 14th. It's a 2-day meeting, but it will probably be on the first day, the 14th. And that's when they would vote on it a second time. Now, if they make changes, which we're hoping they will, and change it up a bit, then they would have to vote it again in November, which in the scheme of things, a couple of months when it's been 10 years since they've done this, and then it was 20 years prior to that. I think that's an appropriate ask. It's a very big deal, and we, of course, oppose it strongly. But it did pass yesterday, which is really horrifying.
Yes,
pretty much.
I know. I was there and spoke very, very briefly. There was a lot of people there that cared, and then there's some people that, like you say, may or not be wanting to do this for the right reasons, and it was definitely a passionate group. I'm glad I went. I will be there August 14th. Maybe we can we'll do a field trip, a bunch of people that want to come and speak on behalf of the bears. But like you say, step one, before it even gets to this point of deadly means of dealing with these animals, step one is the trash cans. Like the trash can locks are like less than $20 on Amazon, and I know there's other places you can get them too. But it's so simple. It's so simple to. It
is so simple. You're right about that. And tell your listeners to reach out to you, because you could connect with me or Katrina. She does the straps. Her group. There's the locks, like you just said, or you could, get a Bearwise can, but there are cheaper options, like you just said. So if anybody's interested, it's just so basic. And it literally, a fed bear is a dead bear. And we know the first fatality happened a few weeks back, ever in the history of Florida. Very tragic, very, very tragic, an elderly man. That's just sad. Nobody wants that. However, I will say, the bears had been feeding on their trash on a daily basis. So
it's like you
there's
say.
That.
Yeah.
That's the prompter. That's why it's illegal to do that. Whether it was intentional or unintentional, the bears only know this is where I go to get food.
Right.
And then
But
all that from there.
For the most part, there may be a bear in your neighborhood that you don't even know about. I thought one of the folks yesterday said something that made so much sense. She said, people keep talking about how they see bear on their Ring camera. Well, the truth is, if it weren't for your Ring camera, you wouldn't even know the bear was there. That's how peaceful they are. They just are maybe getting from point A to point B, and it happens to, be in somebody's yard that maybe lives near the woods.
We have to share this earth. I'm sorry. It's not your kingdom, I'd like to say to a lot of the humans. The Ring cameras are terrible. I'll tell you what else is if they see a coyote, we got to get rid of the coyote. You didn't even know he was here. He's been living here for years. You didn't even know it till you got the stupid Ring camera. It's like, let them be, because they live here. If you're not attracting them, then you're doing your part, and just move on. Let them do the same. And they use it pass through. A lot of times they're just, like you said, point A to point B. No big deal. Yeah. Move along.
If all you see them on is your Ring camera, then just let them be. They're not doing anything. They're just trying to survive. So
we're food.
Yes, and we're going to talk more with you about the bears, and but we're going to take a break first. Welcome back. I'm Amy Carotenuto from Flagler Humane Society, here with Kate MacFall from Humane World for Animals, and Marshmallow, the white hamster. Marshmallow's doing a lot of talking, but Kate, I think you and I will try to get a word in edgewise.
I know, right?
Speaking about Florida black bear and the unfortunate proposed black bear hunt. So, Kate, some more details about the hunt?
Yep, absolutely. And there are so many details about this hunt that are alarming. So we oppose any kind of trophy hunting. Most animal advocates just want to cherish and appreciate, our black bears, from a safe, respectful distance, and not hunt them. But so on top of just hunting them, what they're proposing and what passed the first step yesterday, again, it's not a done deal, but are so many elements. For example, they would have a 3-week-long season, 3 weeks. Now, the last one was supposed to be a week long, and they killed 300 bears in 48 hours. And so now what they've said is, because it was only a week, everybody ran out and killed the first bear they saw, and that's why they got over-the-top numbers early on. Well, I think that's human nature. Mm-hmm. Just because you have a 3-week-long hunt, I think everyone's going to do the same thing. So there's that. They're going to allow hounding and baiting, and that is baiting the bears with food, and then there's chasing them with packs of dogs, which I think is one of the cruelest, most inhumane practices that we talk about or know about. Where they chase a bear to exhaustion. It's not good for the dogs either. That's obvious.
Right.
Chase this bear up a tree and then shoot him out of the tree. And it's so terrifying for that bear. Terrifying. And they say, then you can see if it's a male or female. Well, if it's a female, you've just ditched the cubs.
Right.
God only knows where, way back there. So, and the dogs often, do harm or kill the cubs. So it seems to me like a prehistoric, really medieval practice that has no place in modern society. I mean, that's just abominable. Right. And the other thing they're putting on the table is archery hunting. So you can hunt them with bows and arrows. And I am told that good archers, people who are very good at it, you have to get very close to the animal. I mean, this just horrifies people that care about animals like you and I do. But that anyway, that's part of it, and it's terrible. We a lot of bears will be injured and not killed, so they're suffering. I mean, it's just and so then the other thing they're proposing is no check station, so they can field dress them, which means pull out the organs, cut them up in the field. So, but because last time they had to bring them into the weigh station, because there were some citations given because there was a 100-pound limit, and there were a few that were cubs, and but they could avoid that because the animal people were there taking pictures. So they would avoid that. So now they're saying you can field dress them out, and you don't have to come to the weigh station. It's so bad. It's not only going back to a hunt, which we all oppose, but it's egregious cruelty on top of it. It's like the worst of the worst. And we really have to stop it. We have to at least make whatever they decide to do more humane than what is currently on the table. Absolutely. And we can. We need people in Tallahassee. We just need people to come to Tallahassee and speak The group did well yesterday, but like rudeness hurts us. So if somebody's going to go up there and be rude, you can just subtract several people,
for sure,
from our side. But the group did well yesterday, but we need respectful people to come to Tallahassee for the meeting on the 14th.
For sure. Now, if people can't make the trip to Tallahassee, I know we can, send letters, make phone calls, anything you can do to help. Like I know in person is best by far, but if you're willing to help, if you're willing to help,
I mean, if you know anybody, an elected official of sorts, we had our mayor of Ponson, lovely. Lois is just absolutely lovely, and she came. She's an elected official, which is a big deal. It's they're important. So any elected official who could weigh in, if you have any stories or personal experience with hounding or baiting, or just any of this, to share that or reach out to you or to me and see how we might package that for someone who cannot come to Tallahassee.
For sure.
That would be helpful. But they are, or if you know any ethical hunters, that would be even better. I mean, because here we are, it's the second meeting. It's already passed. I will say this, though, Amy. We're working on it and dissecting the video. It was not a very clean. It was very messy. The vote was messy. They had to go back and undo it and then redo it. So there's some, whatever there. So some of the commissioners might not love it, and we hope they don't. So there's hope. It's not all is not lost. So we do want people to come, but if not, then figure out who might be compelling. If they have an ethical hunter friend or a spouse or somebody who could come and speak to this, that, against the hunt or against those most egregious kinds of cruelty, that would be great as well.
I know you have mentioned a couple times hunters that are on the side of the bears. I heard a few people speak yesterday, and they started off with, "I'm a hunter and I'm against this." And I feel like those people, there was a lot of credibility there. Like,
Tons,
it's not that we're like, I think somebody also said we're, tree huggers. It's not that. It's just there's so many other ways to deal with the bear population than
the population is okay.
Ways.
Right, 100% agree with you. But that's what the other side is saying, is that the population is a concern. The population is fine, but the human population and the conflicts. That's where the bear wise, like the sheriff, he just kept talking about, oh, this guy had a bear in his driveway, and this guy saw a bear here, and he was here. Those are all attractants. That's why I said in my comments, can somebody talk to him about bear-wise communities? He needs some information on that. I mean, clearly.
Yeah.
So
just because you see something in your yard doesn't mean you need to kill it. Just because you see something.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, no. I love seeing critters in my yard. I get so excited. But you're right. The human population, like you said originally, is absolutely so important. But we don't want conflicts. It's all trash, like the horrible tragedy down in Jerome. There was a big element of trash there, of attractants, whether it's cat food or something else.
Bird feeders. Sometimes it's even bird feeders. So people don't, they don't mean to start the conflict, but they are. So it's
that they are, and it's so, and the bear winds up dead. I mean, they never can. It's never fair.
Right. For sure.
So that's the least we can do, living in their habitat, is to manage our trash appropriately.
And they really are. They're peaceful. This is the Florida black bear. We're not talking about grizzly bears and polar bears. Right. This is a Florida black bear. So, we're going to talk.
Terrified of people.
Yes. Yeah. As they should be, it sounds like. So, yeah. Well, we're going to talk a little bit more with Kate and Marshmallow when we get back from this break. Welcome back to Speaking of Animals. I'm Amy, and here with Kate and Marshmallow. And Kate, how can people learn more about, like this August 14th meeting, if they'd like to be of help?
Sure. I'd love for them to reach out to me. Email, it's MacFall, MacFall, @humaneworld.org, or through you. There's always that way. Connect to us through you, and we'll be reaching out to everyone, trying to get folks to come to the meeting in Tallahassee on August 14th. And I know Tallahassee is a hike for a lot of people, but this is really, really important. And what is being proposed is something that no animal advocate supports. So we hope we hope to get a big crowd to come to Tallahassee and really make a difference.
Yeah, and like you say, we need to come and we'll behave too. Behave.
Yes, always important to behave.
So, yeah, like Kate said, you can either reach out to her and get on her mailing list, because Kate is really good about sending us notifications ahead of time so that you can plan. Like I said, yesterday we went to Ocala, and so it's, email Kate, or you can always go on flaglerhumanesociety.org, and usually we share things like this on our website as well. So we would love to have more support for the Florida black bear. Quick announcement, Camp Paw Print is coming up. So if your child is going into anywhere from going into the 3rd grade through 5th grade, that class starts July 14th. Or if your child is going into the 6th grade through 8th grade, that class starts July 28th. It's $250, but it's a super cool camp. We've already got all kinds of guest speakers coming. We've got reptiles. We've got the canine, the officer from Flagler Sheriff's Department, canine officers coming. We always have everything like baby goats and baby chickens, and obviously kittens and puppies and dogs and cats, and you can and the kids learn crafts, and it's a fun camp. So sign your kid up for camp. It's fun, I promise. Well, I wanted to mention again that Marshmallow here, who's in the studio, is up for adoption. She's a really friendly, relatively young hamster. I think she's maybe less than a year, but she's came from a home that had kids, so she's friendly, handleable, clean, pretty, and again, her name is Marshmallow. So look on the website and come see Marshmallow. Shelter's open 7 days a week, and Marshmallow would love to get adopted. Well, Kate, thank you so much for being on the show with us today. I love having you. You're just a wealth of information. So
thank you, and thank you for being there yesterday, Amy. It was really important that you were there. Thank you.
Yeah, it's always interesting for sure. It was a huge crowd. Like, how many people do you think were there? Probably
a couple hundred
at least. Yeah, because I think it was like 170 people signed up to speak, and I know there were other people there. So it was.
Oh yeah, and the fire code. Oh, the fire code. They kept saying we're breaking the fire code. You guys have to go outside to the other room.
Yeah. So, but
it's a big crowd.
Thank you for letting me know about it ahead of time, and we'll keep trying to make a difference. Yesterday felt like a bit of a defeat, but we'll keep trying. So
yes, we have another chance. So
yes,
we'll be there.
All right. Well, thank you again for being on the show. Thanks everybody for listening, and thanks Marshmallow for being on the show too. Y'all take care. Have a great week. Bye-bye.